My house is gone. Yeah, you heard that right, my house. Poof. Vanished, like some magic trick I never agreed to. I step out of the taxi, after 14 hours cramped between snoring strangers and crying babies, expecting to see the same old pine trees and that familiar, battered little cabin tucked up by the water. Instead, there's this Mediterranean monstrosity squatting where my place used to be. Cream stucco, red tile roof, wraparound balconies that probably cost more than my entire pension, windows glinting in the morning sun like the place is mocking me. It's huge, 3 stories, sprawling, audacious in a way you can't really put into words unless you see it for yourself. And standing right there at the edge of my driveway, if you can even call it mine anymore, is a security guard in a crisp uniform that says Lakeshore Estate Security. He looks about 19 and already bored with my existence. He says, "Private property, sir. You'll need to move along." I'm clutching the deed to this land so tight my knuckles turn white. 15 years of ownership, every corner measured and marked by my own hands. I've worked as a land surveyor for the county for 20 years, so trust me, I know where my property lines are. I built this place, poured the concrete for the boundary markers, memorized every GPS coordinate. But now there's a kid barely old enough to shave, telling me I don't belong. You ever feel that rage where your stomach drops but your hands still shake? That's me right then. "Sir, the HOA has verified ownership. You're trespassing." HOA. I never signed up for any HOA. But before I can answer, the mansion's door swings open, and out comes Vicky Whitmore. Picture a silver-haired socialite, silk robe, champagne flute at 9 in the damn morning, walking like she's on stage at a charity gala. She grins at me all teeth. "James Mitchell, welcome home. Well, welcome to my home now." She floats down those stone steps like she's been rehearsing for months. My mind's spinning. Permits, inspections, landscaping, a pool, tennis courts, the whole circus. 6 months. I was gone 6 months and 4 days, and in that time, someone built a palace on my lakefront. I tell her, "You built a house on my land." My voice barely wavers, but inside I'm falling. She laughs, a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane. "Oh, James, you're confused. This is Lakeshore Estates community property now. You just have an easement, nothing more." She hands me a folder, smooth as butter. "Everything is perfectly legal," she assures me, waving some new survey under my nose. "Outdated documents, darling. Technology's improved, boundary lines needed correction." I hold up my deed, the original from 2008, recorded with the county, clear title. She's not even flustered. Security guard is hovering, radio in hand. Vicky pulls out another paper. This one is a notice of trespass, complete with legal letterhead. 30 days to vacate the easement area, James. Her smile is sharp. My attorney assures me this is standard. I stare at that notice, feeling like I've fallen into some nightmare where up is down and nothing makes sense. How do they get permits to build on land they don't own? How do you fight people who can rewrite reality with fancy stationery and a straight face? And if they can do this to me, what else are they doing to everyone else? The letters start coming 3 days later, slipped under my hotel door. Violation notice. Unauthorized dock construction. My dock, built in 2009, with county permits, now apparently illegal according to the Lakeshore Estates HOA. Fine, $2,000. The next day, it's landscaping citation, obstruction of community sight lines. My grandfather's oak trees, suddenly in the way. Fine, $1,500. By the end of the week, I'm sitting in a cheap hotel surrounded by 5 letters, every one of them more ridiculous than the last. My cabin, standing for 15 years, now needs structural permits. Environmental impact assessments for property occupied since the 1940s. Processing fees I never requested, nearly $5,000 total. Every letter is official, loaded with citations and warnings, and each one targets the very things that made my place special: waterfront, trees, that dock. It's like someone did an inventory of everything worth having and then declared it all illegal overnight. So, I do what any stubborn old surveyor would. I drive down to the county recorder's office. If there's a real HOA, there should be paper, bylaws, articles of incorporation, covenants. Paper trails don't lie. Susan, The records clerk recognizes me. We dig through the system. 30 minutes go by, and she shakes her head. That's strange, James. No record of Lakeshore Estates HOA. No bylaws, no nothing. As far as the county's concerned, it doesn't exist. But the letters keep coming. Friday night, Vicky calls. Her voice is sweet with a twist of steel. James, darling, we must resolve these matters, quickly. Development schedules wait for no one. She starts talking about resorts, condos. The area has potential once we clear out incompatible elements. Incompatible. That's me, apparently. Saturday morning, another letter, this time hand-delivered by the same security guard. Final notice. Compliance required within 72 hours. Legal action will proceed. But at the bottom, in tiny print, surveying activity scheduled to verify proper boundary determination. Someone surveying my property. If they were sure, they wouldn't need to check again. That's when I realized Vicky's made a big mistake. She's playing games with a professional. Wednesday, a thick envelope arrives. Certified mail, County Planning Department seal. Violation of building code. Illegal construction on protected lakeshore buffer zone. My property boundaries have been redrawn. The 1.8 acres I've owned for years is now 9/10 of an acre. The dock, the cabin, suddenly inside a newly minted community environmental zone. The map doesn't even match my deed. Someone's stolen half my land with a pen. I'm furious. 15 years of payments, taxes, improvements, gone just like that. I take the new map, my old deed, and drive straight to Vicky's office. The place is all glass and steel grafted onto an old farmhouse full of luxury cars. Inside, Vicky's office is a shrine to her ego, awards, plans for Lakeshore Estates Phase 2, maps showing my old patch transformed into condos, golf courses, and marina. I lay the violation notice on her desk. Someone forged a county survey. My boundaries haven't changed. She barely glances at the paperwork, just launches into her spiel about state-of-the-art surveys correcting errors in old deeds. I've seen 1,000 surveys in my time. Something about these stinks. Measurements too perfect, boundaries matching up with her development plans. And then I spot her computer screen. Lakeshore Community, 847 members, and scrolling posts about me. Squatter refuses to comply. Property values at risk. Vicky's not just stealing my land, she's torching my reputation. 800 people think I'm the problem. She leans in. You need to cooperate, James. We have investors, legal teams. Delays are costly. Not quite a threat, but you get the idea. Driving back, I pass county workers spray painting red excess on my trees. Illegal structure, in dripping letters across my cabin. It's war now. Only, I'm not some vacation home pushover. I'm a surveyor who's mapped more boundaries than most people can count. I dust off my old equipment, military-grade GPS, my trusty theodolite. The real markers, the ones I set myself, are 3 feet deep with rebar cores. But when I check, northwest corner's been jackhammered out. Fresh concrete chunks everywhere. Southwest replaced by a steel pin, no ID. Southeast looks dug up and refilled. Someone tried to erase the evidence, but here's the thing. Amateurs always miss the subsurface. My original markers go deep. The GPS records, filed with the county, are permanent. I work for hours, measuring, logging everything. Proof, the mansion sits smack in the middle of my property. Not a foot over, completely, utterly mine. Even the pool and guest house, the dock. Every inch is on land I've owned since 2008. Then, using my old county login, I pull up the permits for Vicky's mansion. Every single application, tax parcel number matches mine. She built using my legal description, then called me a trespasser. That night I set up cameras. Hidden, solar-powered, uploading to the cloud. 2 days later, they catch Vicky herself, flashlight in hand, directing workers as they move boundary pins under cover of darkness. Move the pins back 50 feet, make sure the concrete sets before sunrise, she says, clear as day. She laughs, points at the woods, jokes about catching it all on camera. Well, guess what, Vicky, you did. Turns out, the contractor is her son, Michael. And MW Contracting has done this at least 3 times before. Other lake properties, same playbook, boundary disputes, corrected surveys, pressured sales. It's systematic, and I'm just the latest mark. But here's where the story flips. Vicky picked the wrong guy. I know every trick, every shortcut. I gather every document, every photo, GPS readout video. When she throws her Community Appreciation Day party on my land, no less, I show up with a folding table and a giant banner. Truth about your HOA scam. The crowd freezes. Local TV's there, Jenny Williams ready with her mic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my property. I can prove it. I lay out the evidence. Surveys, maps, videos of Vicky moving markers at 3 a.m., building permits with my parcel number. Crowd goes from confused to angry. Turns out, I'm not the only one who got a violation for things that were always legal. Voices rise, neighbors share stories, pressure, fines, offers to buy land they already owned. Vicky tries to shut me down. He's just a disgruntled neighbor. Security, remove him. I project the video. Her, flashlight, giving orders. The crowd erupts. HOA board members demand answers. Turns out the HOA isn't even registered with the county. No bylaws, no covenants. Officially, it doesn't exist. Cops show up, but instead of arresting me, they review my evidence. By the end of the day, county officials confirm it all. Vicky's mansion, built on my land, using my permits, with destroyed boundary markers and fake surveys. The community's had enough. TV cameras roll as she's questioned. Her final mistake is screaming, "This is my property. I planned this for 3 years." Caught on tape, live for thousands to see. Monday morning, courthouse is packed. Everyone's watching, the case that could change how property rights work across the whole region. Judge Harrison's no-nonsense. My survey data, video, and a parade of witnesses, neighbors, county officials, even the construction foreman, tell the story. Vicky's lawyers argue good faith, but you can see the panic. When asked why she used my parcel number, she finally admits, "We were correcting historical inaccuracies." That's the ballgame. Judge rules in my favor. The entire $5.2 million mansion, every brick, now belongs to me. Vicky faces criminal charges. Her son's company is dissolved, and the court orders full restitution for legal fees, property damage, even my hotel bills. Community meetings fill up as everyone checks their own deeds, and more cases emerge. Other families, other stolen properties, all part of Vicky's scheme. Her name becomes a cautionary tale, whispered by anyone who ever got a suspicious HOA letter. County tightens verification rules, the state legislature cracks down on property fraud, and Vicky's once glamorous world shrinks to the size of a prison cell. So, what do you do with a mansion you never wanted, built by someone you never trusted, standing on land you fought like hell to reclaim? I could sell it, sure, make a small fortune, ride off into a comfortable retirement. But that's not justice. That just lets her legacy live on. I could live here, rattle around in a gilded cage, haunted by every argument and sleepless night. Instead, with my neighbors, we turn it into something real, a community trust. The ballroom's a meeting hall. The pool. Free swim lessons for kids whose families never got to use the water. The guest house is a library, stocked with books on property law and community organizing. Vicky's old office, where she plotted her scams, is now a free legal clinic for anyone fighting boundary disputes or HOA bullies. And when Vicky finally gets out, she asks to help educate others about property fraud. Some folks are ready to forgive, some not so much. But at least now, her expertise helps prevent new victims. The best part? Watching those kids splash in the pool, hearing neighbors share real stories, seeing a community rise out of the ashes of one woman's greed. If you've ever felt powerless in the face of paperwork and fake authority, remember this. Your best weapon is documentation and a community that's willing to stand together. So, let me throw this back to you. What would you do if someone built a palace on your land? Ever had to fight for what's rightfully yours when everyone around you said you didn't stand a chance? Drop your thoughts and stories below. Because sometimes, justice isn't about what you gain, it's about making sure nobody else loses what matters most.